East meets West one more time as two familiar finalists look for one last victory. Okay, folks, let's play some Pennsylvania Cup hockey.
It's a PIHL Hockey Night in Pittsburgh.
Trib Total Media presents another hockey night on the PIHL network, featuring scholastic hockey in Western Pennsylvania. Hockey Night is brought to you by Trib Total Media and produced by Rubino Productions.
It's a great day for PIHL hockey.
At Trib Total Media, we do things right. We're the watchdogs in our neighborhoods, our region, and around the world. It's our responsibility to ask the right questions and tell every side of every story. We continue to invest in our award-winning reporters and photojournalists so they can bring it all to you. See for yourself, in print or online at triblive.com. The Trib, we do things right. Here.
The PIHL and the EPIHA could not have picked a better place to celebrate the 40th edition of the Pennsylvania Cup than the brand new Pegula Ice Arena on the campus of Penn State University in State College, Pennsylvania. Hello, good morning, and good afternoon, and welcome with Tom Berenger and Ross and Santa. Matt Popchuk on board with you as Kevin Quinn's Quaker Valley Quakers, the Penguins Cup champions of Class A, take on Nick Russo's Bayard Rustin Knights, the Flyers Cup champions of Class A, in a rematch of the 2012 final. The Rustin Knights made easy work of Upper Moreland in the quarterfinal round, and then not so easy work of Westchester Henderson going to overtime in the semifinal round before a decisive win over Springfield to take home the Flyers Cup title. Rustin has won only one Pennsylvania Cup championship, that in 2009. Quaker Valley victorious over the Knights the last time these two teams met. The big gun for Rustin is their captain, J.R. Barone, overtime winner against Henderson, game-winning goal in the Flyers Cup final as well, 12 points in the Flyers Cup playoffs, the Bobby Clark Trophy for tournament MVP. He is Mr. Clutch. But the Quaker Valley Quakers have their own Mr. Clutch, Tom Berenger. Their co-captain, the Class A regular season scoring champion, Jimmy Perkins, who had 12 G-dubs to his credit during the regular campaign, and one heck of a playoff as well.
That's right, Matt. Jimmy Perkins not only led the league in scoring, but he notched 43 goals this season. And not to be outdone, the second goal-scoring leader is also part of this Quaker Valley team, and that's sophomore number 20, Connor Quinn. That 1-2 tandem is a powerhouse of goal-scoring ability.
And the Quakers are being introduced as we speak, and it was Perkins who had a hat trick that saved Quaker Valley's season as the two-time champions were on the ropes against Freeport in the Penguins Cup semifinal. Cam Peterkin, of course, won that game with 0.2 of a second to play in regulation. Then in the Penguins Cup final, a legendary performance by the aforementioned sophomore Quinn. Five goals in what became an easy victory over Thomas Jefferson, which was looking for its first regional championship in 14 years. The Quaker Valley Quakers, again, this is their third consecutive Pennsylvania Cup trip. We told you what happened the last time they played Rustin. Last year, they played in Aston, Pennsylvania against Westchester East. The Quakers, then perfect at the time, were upset by the Vikings for the championship, looking for a better result today. The goaltending matchup is going to be a youngster, Jason Grant, a freshman who has played very well in the playoffs, 24 saves in the Flyers Cup championship game for the Rustin Knights, going against a very accomplished and very decorated senior, Parker Sherry. Yeah,
Matt, that senior, Parker Sherry, has a 17-1-0 record in the regular season for the PIHL. Has a 1.88 goals against average, very stingy, and I can't help but think that the fire that burns in the gut of Quaker Valley, wanting this state championship so badly, is going to be backstopped very well by Parker Sherry.
That last game last year, Tom, got very contentious, as is famously known, Sherry really getting involved with some of the Westchester East players. So hopefully for Kevin Quinn's sake, he will see a calm, cool, but as you said, nevertheless expectant version of Parker Sherry as the Quakers try to get atonement here in State College. Now we will pause to honor America. Just about ready to get underway in the Class A Pennsylvania Cup Final, but first we go to our social media czar, liaison reporter, whatever you want to call him for today.
A lot of names.
Ross and Santa of the PIHL Network. Ross, what do you have for us?
Thanks for bringing me on here, Matt. And participate in the fun for those of you tuning in. Make sure to follow the official account on Twitter at PIHL Network and use the hashtag PACup and participate in the fun, like I said, because it's loud here at Pegula Ice Arena and Twitter is fun. So participate. Even former Quaker Valley player Clayton Bouchard is participating in the fun on Twitter, supporting his former team. And even PA Senator Matt Smith is showing support for the Quakers and Peters Township, which will be participating later on here at Pegula Ice Arena. So once again, Twitter is fun for those of you tuning in to this stream on the PIHL Network. Follow the official account at PIHL Network or the hashtag PACup. We'll be here with wall-to-wall coverage on the PIHL Network Twitter account.
Thank you very much, Ross. Excellent stuff there. And again, he will be with us all day. Our social media reporter in the field, Ross and Santa, kind enough to join us and do the work of yeoman with us here as we have a little fun in Hockey Valley. The Knights of Bayard Rustin lined up to our left. The Quaker Valley Quakers, the designated home team since last year the Eastern teams got to wear their home uniforms, is lined up to our right. And again, just about ready for the opening face-off here at the new Pegula Ice Arena, the home of the 2014 and 2015 Pennsylvania Cup Championships. It's captain against co-captain, and the co-captain wins the face-off, but it is Rustin controlling it as Sean Polidor moves it around the boards, and the Quaker Valley Quakers push it deep, moving the puck from right to left on your computer screen, TV screen, or mobile device to begin today's game. Barone playing it around the half boards to Armaine Asdorian. Quakers send it the other way before it's picked up by Rustin, and Brett Christie will send it back to center, a little too far for Barone. Connor Quinn counterattacking for Quaker Valley. Quinn pushes it behind the Knights' goal line. Loose puck behind starting goaltender Jason Grand. And it comes back to center, and here comes Barone with room down the right side. Centering pass, move on Sherry, and the Knights have scored! Brett Christie, I believe, was trailing the play. And what did I tell you about Barone as a facilitator?
And that almost seemed too easy. I don't know what happened on that play, but as Barone came down, he put just one or two minor moves, and I'm not sure if Parker Sherry didn't see the puck properly or what, but not only did he put the puck in the net, but then he ended up putting himself in the net.
It's funny how history repeats itself. There you have the official announcement. Rustin with a 1-0 lead early over Quaker Valley as the Knights attack once again behind the Quakers' goal. Eric Flynn, the sophomore forward, getting pinned against the boards as the Quakers try to get it out of their own zone defensively. They can't. Kurt Moore was having some trouble with it, but Ryan Lotus, the Quaker Valley captain, going D-to-D with Alex Quinn before the puck is turned over in neutral ice to Michael Grand. Grand having some trouble entering the offensive zone, so the Quakers trying to mount a counterattack as this puck is dumped in, and Kevin Quinn will make an early line change after the early Brett Christie goal. And to finish my thought, it's funny how history repeats itself. Parker Sherry gave up an early goal against TJ, and the last time these two teams met for the state final, Rustin got an early goal on Doug Revac, the Quaker Valley goaltender at the time, and the Quakers, of course, went on to score the next 4, but here come the Knights again, and it is Grant nuzzling that nylon. And the Penguins Cup champs are in unfamiliar territory to begin today's game.
Well, that's got to hurt right out of the gate. 2 goals in less than a minute, or 2 minutes. They may be a little shell-shocked. Hopefully Quaker Valley will be able to settle down and let the game come to them a little bit, but not so dramatically as it already has come to them now.
Michael Grandy scoring for Rustin moments after Brett Christie did the same for Grandy, his team leading 6th of the postseason. And for Christie, he matches him with 6. So it's an early hole for the Quaker Valley Quakers. Very uncommon to see this team in a multiple goal deficit under any circumstances, but Jimmy Perkins fires a shot on Jason Grandy, the freshman keeper, who makes his first unofficial save of the night. Perkins centering for Scott Weston. Weston had trouble with the pass. Lotus from the boards trying to pick it up. He can't. Sends it to the corner for Quinn. Inside for Jimmy Perkins. He couldn't take it. He was too well covered by Evan Burke. A correction, that was Sean Polidor playing defensively on the back check for Rustin, and we get an icing call against the Knights with 14:16 to play in the first period. An ideal start for the East.
Matt, I noticed that the Rustin roster is, try saying that 3 times real fast, by the way. The Rustin roster is chock-a-block full of young players. They've got 8 freshmen on this team and 7 sophomores. That's half the team below junior year and below.
And it is Armain Asdourian setting the puck deep. Alex Quinn from his knees trying to play it. It's loose in front of Sherry. Sent to the point for Grandy. Grandy on his backhand, working around Kurt Moore. Sends it to the corner for Christie, who had the first goal of the day. For J.R. Barone. Barone, the Rustin captain, off a Quaker Valley stick as Lotus got in his grill. And that puck dies along the half boards where the Knights will play it deep. Barone overtaken by Alex Quinn. Quinn still hounding the Rustin captain, but Barone stays with the play. Barone out in front. Wraparound try. Sherry makes a save. Rebound hacked at by Asdourian. And Asdourian goes to the half boards to reset it to the point for Grandy. Grandy intercepted by Cam Peterkin, ahead for Otto Schaefer, 102. Schaefer into the glove of Jason Grandy, who will play it conservatively. And the Quakers get an offensive zone faceoff. And let us see how long it takes the Quaker Valley Quakers to find their legs. Tough start for the 2-time Penguins Cup champions who lose the face-off, but swipe at this puck. Here's Weston between the circles, shooting on Grandy, save, rebound, score! Jimmy Perkins, I want my wings! And just like that, we've got a new game.
Well, Jimmy Perkins, true to his character, gets on the board for Quaker Valley.
Jimmy Perkins, his 6th of the playoffs, and unofficially his team-leading 14th postseason point. And the goose egg is gone. Quaker Valley now trailing 2-1 with 13:16 to go in what has already been a hectic first period. Perkins turnaround try fanned on as Lotus was driving the net previously. And here come the Knights the other way. Asdourian deep into the offensive zone. Barone trailing the play, but it's cleared back to neutral ice. Jimmy Perkins going after it again, but Harrison Lane, the freshman's going to beat him to the punch and get it back to center. Quaker Valley's Quinn, Connor Quinn that is, gaining the red line, dumping it back in and forcing a turnover now as the puck is kicked at and sent back to center by Christie. 2-1 Rustin, 12:30 to go first period. Early goals by Brett Christie and Michael Grandy, then Jimmy Perkins answering for Quaker Valley. Connor Quinn having some trouble with this puck along the half boards as he is checked by Tommy Sloan. Around to the opposite corner it goes for Lotus. Tap back to center for Weston. And Sloan will whack at it again in front of the Quaker Valley bench and send it free to Brett Christie. Sloan in over the line now, offside. The indication against Rustin. Adam Stanley to take the draw against Joel Chirico, the sophomore forward, and it's pushed into Quaker Valley territory before the Quakers play pitch and catch, sending it right back to center. Jake Kuzma, the sophomore blue liner for Quaker Valley, around the boards for Avery Montague. Kevin Quinn, as we've said many times before, not shy about stretching out his bench and using all his players early in games. Quaker Valley with the luxury of a lot of depth and a lot more than a lot of Class A teams have in Western Pennsylvania. In the corner fighting forward for Rustin is Chirico. But back the other way comes Quaker Valley, and it's Noah Schultz with it. Schultz, the Quaker Valley newcomer, in behind the net for Avery Montague. Montague in deep. Montague on his backhand, overtaken by Derek Samedi. Puck up, but not out. And now it'll be escorted outside the zone by Samedi, who was looking to go up ahead to Jeff Hagan. That pass a little too far. Hagan double teamed by the Quaker Valley defensive pairing of Ryan Lotus and Alex Quinn, and the Quakers skillfully move this puck up ahead as Moore gains the red line, dumps it in just wide of Jason Grandy, the goaltender. Otto Schaefer behind the goal line, and they try to feed Moore. Instead, Peterkin takes that in front. He shoots. Grandy the save, and the rebound. There is none. Oh, Peterkin almost scored with that bouncing puck that he was able to control.
Yeah, that's like playing a different game of street ball with that puck bouncing around like that. Perkins almost got his second one of this early period, but Rustin is just almost smothering in terms of their defense.
Schaefer off the draw, couldn't get a shot away. His stick was lifted, I think, by Barone, who gets it back to center, looking for Christie, who was kind of sort of cheating up ahead of the play, but Lotus was ready, and a giveaway though to Barone. Barone down the middle. Barone lost the puck at the last moment. A bit of a break there for the Quakers as this puck is shoveled by Barone in haste. Well wide of everything. Kurt Moore counterattacking for QV. He gets this puck deep. Quinn wants a line change. Schaefer going after it. Instead, it'll be played by Sean Polidor. And up ahead now to the Rustin captain, Sergei Kern. Kern on Sherry, and we're going to get a penalty coming up as the Bayard Rustin Knights, for the first time today, will go on the UPMC Sports Medicine Power Play. From the doctor's office to the ice rink, UPMC Sports Medicine supports PIHO athletes throughout the season as the league's official medical sponsor. To learn more, call 1-855-93-SPORT or visit upmcsportsmedicine.com.
Well, that was a rocket that Kern launched from the blue line. And here we go as we get prepared for the face-off for this power play. Quaker Valley in the box.
The Rustin Knights with 6 power play goals as a team on the UPMC Sports Medicine Power Play, and those have come as the Quakers almost score shorthanded. Oh, Perkins put it off the glove of Grandy and just over top the crossbar. And here comes the man advantage for the Knights. The Knights scoring 6 times in 4 postseason games thus far when playing a man up or more, as this shot is whistled high and wide by Michael Grandy, and it just barely stays inside the zone for Polidor. Polidor to the corner, but Ryan Lotus is going to be the only man there, and he cleanly plays it just barely back to center. Polidor there to cut it off and mitigate that damage for the Rustin power play. 9.5 to go first period. The Knights with the UPMC Sports Medicine Power Play trying to extend a 2-1 lead. Cross-ice pass to Polidor, to Barone from the left hash. Barone pulling to the top of the circle, off the stick of Lotus, and Perkins trying to get it back to center. He can't. Grandy surveying the play. Grandy, as one of the Quakers went down. Perkins is on his posterior as Barone put that puck just wide. Grandy, center point, watching. Passing to Polidor. Polidor to Michael Grandy. Grandy snapshot. Just wide of everything. The rebound cleared up. Still not quite out. Good forecheck here by the Knights. In behind the net it goes. And now Alex Quinn trying to cut his man off to get to this puck. He can't. Rustin still cycling here on the UPMC Sports Medicine Power Play. 25 to go in the minor penalty to Kurt Moore for roughing. Grandy over to Barone. Barone taking Lotus out of his skates, and he puts it to the side of the net. Oh, just missing on that one was Asdorian. Grandy, center point. Moore tapping on the glass. One-timer Barone. Funny bounce, and it goes in! His 4th of the playoffs, just as the penalty was set to expire. And that's deflating for Quaker Valley just as they got back into this game. That work is undone.
You know, Matt, I couldn't help but look and notice the methodical way in which that power play was conducted. Obviously a very well-coached and disciplined team. That power play setup looked almost as if it were a professional team doing it, and then they end up getting a goal on a fluky bounce.
You know what it was like? It was like watching the Quakers power play when they are at their best. The Quakers getting beaten at their own game, more or less. And it's a 3-1 lead for the Knights midway through this first period. And finally, the scoreboard here at Pegula Ice Arena changes to reflect that. Maryland's 4th goal of the postseason. 3 of them have come on special teams. Kern behind his own goal, bringing it near side, and the Quakers were never able to get that puck all the way out and get it deep. And from a Rustin perspective, well, you reap what you sow. That was just good hard work by their special teams. Kuzma getting met and worked over by one of the Knights. That was Sloan, as the puck is pushed back to center by Kyle Mullen. Nick Russo calling for a line change here with 7:30 to play in the first. Tough start for the Quakers, trailing by a pair. As it comes back in the general direction of the Rustin blue line, and the Quakers try to set up their offense. Fagan, the benefactor of the neighborhood plays, he didn't quite have the red line, but the officials said no icing anyway. Jeff Hagan into the offensive zone, looking to go up ahead to Eric Flynn. And it'll be Chirico sending it to the corner where Alex Quinn intercepts it, goes D to Lotus, and now back to Alex Quinn. Quinn, all kinds of traffic in the neutral zone. And centering pass put just wide of Jason Grand. It looks like the Knights, from our vantage point, have either, I hesitate to say a plant, but
kind of
we've not seen this before. A spotter, yes, or a coach in the stands of some kind.
Yeah, he's giving signals to the Rustin bench from right in front of us here at the broadcast booth.
Very interesting. Connor Quinn on his backhand. Quinn, side of the net. Is it in? Is it all the way across the line? No, it's between the pillows of Jason Grand. And let's give the Knights defense credit as well, because for the most part, they've done a good job insulating the freshman against one of the best offenses in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. Only 3 shots for Quaker Valley.
You know, Matt, as I'm watching this game, discipline is the word that keeps coming to mind, and I'll share another thought on that in just a minute.
One of the Quakers double-teamed and going down in the corner. Play on, they say, as Lotus puts it wide. Alex Quinn around the boards, too strong for Jimmy Perkins. Connor Quinn takes it instead. Quinn around one man. Quinn trying to keep it inside the zone. He can't. Resistance futile as Dorian comes back into the Quaker Valley zone before he's overtaken by Connor Quinn. Knights able to get it deep with 5:50 to go in the first, leading 3-1. And again, that spotter or what have you is signaling to the Rustin bench, and he has a headset or an earpiece of those could actually just be sunglasses, I beg your pardon. Looked like he had one of those Bluetooths or whatever you call it.
Now it looks like he's only giving visual signals.
I think you're right. Up ahead it comes now. And the Knights play with it in neutral ice and get it into Quaker Valley territory. That was Barone doing the honors as it's gotten up ahead now to Asdorian. Asdorian to the corner. Alex Quinn with it with his back to the play. Quinn slowly bringing the puck around to his forehand and sending it far side to Kurt Moore. Moore over the line, just barely onside, slaps it into Grand's body, and he juggles the rebound with Otto Schaefer bearing down on him. Trib Total Media is a proud partner of the PIHL and a proud sponsor of live coverage of the Pennsylvania Cup. Visit them at triblive.com. Call 1-800-909-TRIB to subscribe. Trib Total Media, we do things right here.
Did you hear what I said before?
What's that?
Work him in again, Ross.
And we will be checking back in with social media reporter Ross and Santa momentarily as we have action to the left of goaltender Jason Grand, and the Rustin defense able to nip that in the bud as Tommy Sloan sends it to the near corner. Kuzma trying to play it, but Sloan cuts him off and gets there first. Brett Christie with it now for Bayard Rustin. And a 3-1 lead for the Flyers Cup champs early in this game. 4:20 to go, first period. Puck just outside of Quaker Valley territory, and the Knights will reset as Kevin Quinn makes another line change. Sloan getting it deep. Harkins up ahead for Weston, the intended recipient. Instead, it finds the blade of Joel Chirico, who sends it deep. And Harkins, Owen Harkins, that is, for Quaker Valley, unable to get it outside of the net play, intended for Chirico. He fanned on it. He was well covered, but he had the rifle cocked and he just couldn't fire. Connor Quinn trying to establish positioning as the Knights just try to clear it out of the zone. They can't. Moore resets it to Alex Quinn, who puts it wide of the goal. Ryan Lotus in pinching for Connor Quinn. Quinn trying to reset it. He can. It's cut off by Eric Flynn. And Flynn up ahead and into the glove of Parker Sherry, who will settle it down for Ryan Lotus. Lotus behind his goal. Lotus surveying the play, had trouble playing that puck. That's sort of a microcosm of the period for the Quakers. Quinn up ahead for Moore. One-touch pass intercepted by Asdorian. Asdorian blows a tire. And Alex Quinn takes it, trying to send it up ahead to Weston, who argues that he was interfered with. No call. Under 3 to go in the period, and it is icing against the Knights. Ross and Santa, what do you have for us?
Not really much action going on right now, Matt, on Twitter. So for those of you tuning in, participate in the action on Twitter. Use the hashtag PACup or the hashtag PIHL. Follow us on Twitter at PIHL Network and participate in the fun on Twitter.
Thank you, Ross. Quakers off the offensive zone faceoff, playing up behind the Rustin goal with it. Stanley out in front. Save made. Noah Schultz rebound, putting it just wide, and the freshman nearly cashed in the Pennsylvania Cup final. The muckers and grinders out here for Kevin Quinn as the puck is sent back to center. But the senior tandem of Quinn and Lotus still intact. Lead pass intended for Stanley, cut off by the glove of Montague, but he was offside.
You know, Matt, I was noticing before the game started, and this goes back to my comment about discipline. These are two very disciplined teams, and even though it's not necessarily an indication, but rather a symptom, you know, when we look at what kids do in playoffs, they dye their hair red, they bleach their hair, they do all kind of weird things. When I was noticing during the national anthem that both of these teams all had neat, well-kept hair, and that by itself is a sign of discipline.
There you go. We won't see that in the next couple games, I don't think, at least as far as the Peters Township Indians are concerned. Hint, hint.
Yeah, I think they're still rocking the redheads.
Bishop Canavan, Central Buck South, later. And then the aforementioned Indians against the LaSalle Explorers to end the day. Right now, it is Bayard Rustin 3, Quaker Valley 1, with 1:50 to play in the first period of the first Pennsylvania Cup final here today. Scott Weston having trouble with the snapshot. Loose puck, picked up by Polidor. And up ahead now to Kyle Mullen. Mullen met at his own blue line by Cam Peterkin, who's going off for a line change here. And a lead pass now to Perkins. Perkins trying to split the defense. He does, but he can't hang on to the puck. Perkins in the corner, trapped immediately. But the Quakers still fighting for it as Grand makes a save on Connor Quinn, who was hit from behind as he shot that puck. Perkins behind the net, out in front. Too well covered. Rustin, wise to the power of the Quaker Valley offense, all over Jimmy Perkins. Quinn side of the net, out in front it comes, intended for Weston, but the Knights are able to clear, and Quaker Valley has to reset in the final minute. They also have to tag up, which they do as well. Kern meets Weston, and Weston got the worst of that one. The Knights trying to work it back to center, and they do. Lotus and Quinn going D to D and waiting for their mates to get back on side. Lotus for Weston. Kern will ice it with 45 seconds to play.
Well, the first period's almost in the books in this game. 3-1. Rustin is enjoying a 2-goal lead over Quaker Valley. You know, it's funny, Quaker Valley is in extreme western Pennsylvania. Rustin, of course, being in Westchester, PA, which is extreme eastern Pennsylvania. These two teams couldn't get further apart.
Ryan Lotus through a crowd. Oh, a deflection by Schaefer goes right off the body, conveniently for Rustin's sake, of Jason Grand. Michael Grandy, who has a goal in this game, fires it long and hard on Parker Sherry, who hangs on.
Looked like Sherry was posing for a photograph there.
That is a poster save, and Parker Sherry had to make a few of those along the way, to say the least, to just get the Quakers here. Shot off the faceoff. Sherry the toe save. Rebound swept to the corner with 25 seconds left. Rustin in possession. It goes to Christie. Christie out in front, fan on the shot, and Sherry's just going to not take any chances with 18 and a half seconds left, and he'll trust his centerman to win the faceoff. And Connor Quinn from his knees, unable to get it away from Christie. Shot from the point. Sherry the save. Rebound, score! Barone right out in front. It's got to be the hair. And those late period goals are a killer.
Well, that's 2 for the Rustin captain.
In the battle of Mister's clutch, Barone and Perkins. Barone has the upper hand thus far. Perkins with 1, but Barone with a pair, including a very important late period goal, and those have a way of really lifting one team and deflating the other. So let's see how the Quakers respond to begin the second period. Sherry from long range will hold again. For the Quakers, a merciful end to the first period. An all too familiar opening for them as they find themselves, does Quaker Valley, trailing the Bayard Rustin Knights by a score of 4-1. More Pennsylvania Cup coverage to come after this on Trib Total Media Hockey Night on the PIHL Network.
I grew up here, and it's really important for me to make sure that I stand up for the people of Western Pennsylvania. The work that we do is not to just go out and win awards or make names for ourselves, but it's to go out and actually do things that are going to make this region better and actually help the people who live here. What's the truth? What's honest? What's accurate? Our job in the newsroom is just to tell these stories honestly and accurately so that readers can take the information and go out and make their own decisions.
The Trib. Get it right. Now.
It's a PIHL Hockey Night in Pittsburgh.
Trib Total Media presents another hockey night on the PIHL Network, featuring scholastic hockey in Western Pennsylvania. Hockey Night is brought to you by Trib Total Media and produced by Rubino Productions.
It's a great day for PIHL hockey.
Through 1, it is Rustin 4, Quakers 1. Let's go down to Ross and Santa one more time. Ross, what do you have for us?
Yeah, Matt, not really much activity going on, which is surprising with the action that's going on in this game. J.R. Barone with those 2 goals and that late first period goal with 9.8 seconds left. So once again, for those of you tuning into PIHL Network's coverage of the PA Cup here at Pegula Ice Arena, follow us on Twitter at PIHL Network. Use the hashtags PA Cup or PIHL and participate in the action.
Thank you, Ross, and remember again the hashtags PA Cup and PIHL so we can all join the conversation. I wonder what the conversation was on Kevin Quinn's bench, Tom Berenger.
Well, I imagine he's a little concerned. They got stung early here in the first period, and now they've got a chance to bring some of that discipline to bear and get a couple more goals, does Quaker Valley. Ooh, there's a nice hit.
Quaker Valley, as the Knights come back, and playing it deep as Asdorian behind the net, reversing the play to J.R. Barone. Avery Montague leading it for Otto Schaefer. Schaefer had trouble with it, but he goes in after it, trying to get in behind Michael Grandy. Schaefer has it. Schaefer from his knees, using that big frame and that strength to protect that puck, but he couldn't get a clean shot away as Alex Quinn puts it into a body. Quakers have it. It's loose in front of Grandy and bouncing around, and the Knights get that bounce as it comes near side to Brett Christie.
This Rustin team is very good at puck possession, Matt.
And they're very good at taking space away from the Quaker Valley offense, which it thrives upon. Quakers love to move that puck around and not just rely on their raw skill, but run some very impressive set plays. And we've seen some of those set plays. We have the luxury of seeing them play in the West, and they're a fun team to watch when they're at their best, but things certainly not at their best right now for the Quakers as the Knights are offside. And last season in the Pennsylvania Cup, the Quakers at one point trailed 6-2. They lost 6-5 and were inches from tying the game in the final seconds, so certainly not over by any proposition with 15:42 to go to the ice cut.
You know, with the exception of last year, Rustin has been in these finals every year since 2008. I'm very impressed with how this team carries themselves.
And that was a story for us in the West in the Penguins Cup Finals as well, as one team had sort of a been there, done that mentality, and one team didn't, and the team with more experience won comfortably. Well, Quaker Valley is coming up against an opponent, as you said, that also has a been there, done that mentality, so that advantage has been mitigated as the Knights have really shown no signs of intimidation at all against what can be a very intimidating opponent.
Yeah, even though Rustin is a young team, they do also have 7 seniors that have been down this road before. And like you said, Matt, they know what it's supposed to look and feel like.
And they remember what it looked and felt like when they were on the wrong end of a 4-1 score. So that certainly plays a factor as well, as the Knights have come out fired up, and the Quakers have to play catch-up with 14:45 to play as it comes near side intended for Perkins. That went off a Rustin stick, actually, as David Dunn got a piece of it, and now it's sent up ahead, intended for Kurt Moore. Never made it to the intended target, and over the line comes Tommy Sloan. Sloan trying to tee it up for Bo Weimer, and Weimer couldn't get there. Quakers trying to come the other way, and even a simple thing like an outlet pass, the Quakers having trouble with as one of the Knights was dumped.
Now, Jimmy Perkins is running into somebody at the red line consistently here. I don't know how much abuse he can take, but he's had a couple of good whacks.
And Alex Quinn plays it for Peterkin. Puck along the boards, penalty coming up, and this one's actually going to go against Quaker Valley in the offensive zone, and the Quakers are a little stunned by that. Second UPMC Sports Medicine power play for the Knights, who are 1 for 1 thus far. From the doctor's office to the ice rink, UPMC Sports Medicine supports PIHO athletes throughout the season as the league's official medical sponsor. To learn more, call 1-855-93-SPORT or visit upmcsportsmedicine.com.
Quaker Valley Peterkin, 2 minutes for an elbowing, top penalty 302. That's Peterkin at Quaker Valley, 2 minutes for an elbowing, top penalty 302. Rustin on the power.
Perkins angry at Grandy about something as those two continue to exchange words after Perkins shoved Grandy, the Rustin co-captain. Puck was trapped in Grandy's equipment, hence the face-off in Rustin territory after you saw the Perkins shorthanded chance. Now Perkins off the face-off trying to do it himself, and Perkins, as he is wont to do, drew a penalty and took away the Knights' power play.
Nicely done. That was I was concerned there because it seemed as though that some of that discipline may have been slipping from Quaker Valley, allowing them to get a little chippy there. But now we're all even, 4 on 4.
Perkins from his own end, from the offensive end rather, to Quinn, to Lotus, back to Connor Quinn. Quinn shooting, save made by Grandy. He got a piece of that, I think, as it went up into the protective netting and out of play, and that is a higher percentage shot, as Michael Grandy demonstrated earlier, than most hockey players think.
You know, Matt, a minor point here, but that is some of the finest protective netting I think I've ever not seen.
And it is practically invisible and blends right in nicely. You're right, Tom. And Sherry covering, meanwhile, in the Quaker Valley zone with 13:21 to go in the second. 1:23 to go in the penalty to Peterkin, and 1:36 to go in the minor penalty to J.R. Barone, the Rustin captain. Knights nursing a 4-1 lead here in the middle frame. Go ahead, Tom.
I beg your pardon, Matt. Hey, this whole building is incredibly impressive. I said several times last night as we were coming in to set up that the whole place smells like a brand new car.
That new hockey arena smell. As opposed to just the hockey smell, which you don't want to smell at all.
Nobody wants that.
I've been in some of those locker rooms, trust me. Loose in front of Sherry, doesn't know where it is, and it's put just wide by Christie. Tense moment there for the Quakers.
I think there were more fights between my wife and my son over his hockey equipment than any other singular topic as he was growing up in our house.
Parker Sherry just barely getting a piece of that shot from the left point by Harrison Lane, and that's one of Sherry's better saves thus far. Perkins with Quinn trailing. Quinn shooting over the head of Grandy. Alex Quinn there for the rebound, and he gets it deep, but the other Quinn, Connor Quinn, the sophomore, couldn't get there in time. Lotus up ahead. Lotus, the captain, moving into the offensive zone. He shoots off a body. Good gap control there by Sean Polidor. As Dorian gets it the rest of the way, and this will be icing against the Knights as he didn't gain the red line. Bit of a tactical mistake there by the Bayard Rustin senior.
You know, again, back to that discipline. That's the first icing of this game, and we're already a period and a half in.
12:14 to go to the ice cut. And we have special ice cut programming for you, for those of you watching us live. As this turnaround shot is denied by Grandy, the freshman. We'll take a look back at just how the Quaker Valley Quakers got here. Correction, we will recap last year's Pennsylvania Cup championships and tell you how the Quaker Valley Quakers got there. Thank you, producer John Rubino. And meanwhile, Grandy covering to his right.
He's not only good looking, he's pretty smart too.
Face off to the right of the Bayard Rustin freshman, Schaefer against Christie. And back to center it comes for Alex Quinn. And a penalty coming up against the Quakers. Just as Peterkin is set free, he has to feel shame for 2 more minutes.
Another roughing call.
And so a third UPMC Sports Medicine power play for the Knights, who still lead 4-1 with 11:43 to go in the second.
I think Cam Peterkin is going to need some herbal tea during the ice cut in the locker room.
Cam Peterkin, he's frustrated with himself right now, but he's already had a remarkable season. The hero of the Penguins Cup semifinals, a game that will be talked about where we come from for years to come, just in terms of its sheer excitement. As Dorian in the corner, hit by the shoulder of Alex Quinn. Brett Christie playing it for Rustin. One-on-one with Ryan Lotus. Lotus wins that battle, but Lotus is tied up. Good puck support there by Asdorian. As the senior Asdorian and sophomore Christie work together. And a high stick on this puck is negated.
Nope.
And we are going to get a penalty, actually. Back in the Quaker Valley zone, a holding call. So more 4-on-4 hockey awaits us, as Christie will be sent to the sin bin with 11:04 to play.
Matt, I just caught my first glimpse of PIHL President Bob Sebastian taking a seat, watching this beautiful facility, this great game.
And we thank him and his company, Power Play Productions, for their help this year. Clean face-off win for the Knights. Grandy overtaken by Lotus. 70 more seconds of 4-on-4 hockey as the Knights steal, and Sherry juggles that puck with Quinn and Barone pushing and shoving.
Matt, shots are fairly even at this game so far. 11 shots for Rustin and now 10 shots for Quaker Valley.
Then the key is quality shots. The Knights have gotten quality chances and made good on them. Quaker Valley, although they're certainly not getting run out of the building, they've really had to work for whatever offense they've got.
Absolutely.
Puck off the glass. Grandy comes the other way. Grandy makes a move on Lotus. Grandy in on Sherry, who makes a nice save, denying Grandy on the backhand. Sergio Kern playing this puck. And a hard hit there along the boards as Lotus leads it for Perkins. Perkins 1-on-2. Perkins pulls up, looks for Connor Quinn, but it's broken up, and a good read there by Polidor. And here come the Knights the other way before the Quakers regain possession. Perkins going to try it one more time. Dropping for Quinn. Quinn looking for Perkins again. It's broken up. Polidor having a nice game defensively for the Knights. Under 10 to go now as Sherry makes a nifty little glove save on Joel Chirico.
I don't know if there's anything more impressive than the sweeping glove of a goaltender as he brings a puck out of midair and kind of curls it, that little style play. Very, very nicely done by Parker Sherry.
And this faceoff will be controlled by Quaker Valley as Schaefer gets it back to center. It comes off the foot of Harkins, and up ahead now as we have traffic at the Quaker Valley blue line. Jake Kuzma slow in getting up as Harkins puts it into the stomach of Jason Grandy, and he will play that puck conservatively.
That was a bona fide collision at the blue line between a Quaker Valley and a Rustin player. The description when two vehicles collide is no longer an accident. They're now called crashes, according to the highway authorities. And what we're seeing here is some crashes between two players.
Connor Quinn for Ryan Lotus. Lotus snapshot fanned on loose in front. Quakers couldn't get a clean stick on it. Now it's put off the side of Grand's body. Nice. He makes an unconscious save. Alex Quinn to Connor Quinn. Good puck movement suddenly by the Quakers now with 9:15 to go in the second. Alex Quinn for Lotus. One-timer off a foot. Rebound. Oh, Quinn couldn't find the yawning net. He had to settle the puck down too. And it's loose in front of Granny and cleared by Alex Quinn. And here in pursuit the other way for Bayard Rustin comes Jeff Hagan. Look out. Hagan gets there, but Alex Quinn overtakes it.
Both teams are now full strength as the penalty boxes have been emptied.
Scott Weston over the line. Weston for Jimmy Perkins. Perkins slapper. It deflected off the stick of Polidor and out of play. Golden chances now for Quaker Valley, which still trails by 3.
It's amazing. I love this game of hockey so much, Matt, but to see the momentum shift right in front of your eyes is something that's always been incredible for me to watch.
If Quinn doesn't have to settle down a bouncing puck, that lead would have been cut in half. I have no doubt.
Yeah, he had an open 4x6, yeah.
Schaefer. And when you're playing well, as the Knights have been, those are the exact kind of bounces that you seem to get. And here's a steal by Asdorian. Asdorian to the goal. He rings it off the iron. Metal, but no mesh for the senior. Schaefer blasts one off the body. That off Sergei Kern, the freshman. The Quakers attacking once more. Kuzma has trouble playing this puck, though, and the Knights are able to get it back to neutral ice. Alex Quinn back by his lonesome. Near side for Kuzma. Kuzma hit from behind by Asdorian. And a penalty coming up now against the Quakers. Over the line comes Christie. Christie makes a move. Christie did everything but shoot as Alex Quinn touches. Russ and Santa, social media reporter, what say you?
Well, it looks like former Connellsville goalie Thomas Clark, he's participating now, clearly noticing the success of Rustin right now with mentioning that Bayard Rustin is putting it to Quaker Valley right now using that hashtag PA Cup, and clearly he's paying attention to our coverage. So once again, at PIHL Network on Twitter, use the hashtags PIHL or PA Cup.
Thank you, Ross. A fourth UPMC Sports Medicine power play for the Bayard Rustin Knights with exactly 8 minutes to go to the ice cut here at Pegula Ice Arena.
I appreciate John Rubino having the foresight to have Ross involved in this from the social media aspect, mostly since I don't even know how to sign on to Twitter.
It is not as hard as it looks, I can assure you. Barone off the body of Lotus.
Well, you kids and your computers.
I'll show you after the game.
Thanks.
Not only will we get a Tom Berenger Twitter account, we'll make a fake Tom Berenger Twitter account, because that is the sign of real celebrity. Trust me.
I think I actually have a Twitter account, but I'm not sure.
That might be the other Tom Berenger.
The famous one.
But I stray.
The one that doesn't know Matt Popchak.
Oh, you flatter me. And another penalty coming up. While Tom Berenger is having social media woes, the Bayard Rustin Knights are having trouble staying out of the penalty box as another UPMC Sports Medicine power play turns into 4-on-4 hockey. And it's Barone going off for a second time.
Little inappropriate use of the lumber there on the high stick call. Actually, it's not really lumber anymore, is it? There I go again.
Not these days, anyway.
Carbon fiber.
Now, the technology of hockey at all levels is something at which to marvel.
All right, now our Rustin plant just held up 3 fingers. I don't think I've seen that one before. I have no idea what that means.
Well, it could be a signal for a set play or a defensive set of some kind as the Quakers set up in the offensive zone here as Jason Grandy holds on. 6:51 to go, second period. During every athletic season, UPMC Sports Medicine treats more student athletes than any other sports medicine provider in Western Pennsylvania. To learn more about how they can help you recover from injury and reach your peak performance, call 1-855-93-SPORT or visit upmcsportsmedicine.com.
You know, Matt, speaking of UPMC, my brother, Terry, is a nurse for UPMC and has had the privilege of caring for former Quaker Valley star Kevin Kenny in his recovery from a very serious injury. We'll talk more about that a little bit later.
Connor Quinn again just barely missing at the side of the net. He's had 2 glorious chances in this second period. Quinn again, 5 goals in the Penguins Cup final as this puck is pushed just wide by one of the Quakers, and that's Peter Hall firing that puck wide of the Rustin goal as Perkins enters the offensive zone for QV. Perkins pulling up, immediately met by 2 men as Harkins comes off and Alex Quinn comes on. Perkins trying to delay time to complete the change as much as he can. He resets to Alex Quinn. Quinn having trouble loading up that puck, and he's taken over, and the puck is cleared by Eric Flynn. Perkins back the other way now as a couple of Knights are trapped. Perkins has room. Perkins shoots it wide of the blocker hand of Jason Grandy. Quinn down low for Perkins. Perkins resetting to Lotus. Kuzma out of the box. Alex Quinn to Perkins and into the blocker, into the chest protector, I should say, of Grandy. Sorry, Tom. Quaker Valley now out shooting Rustin for the first time in memory.
Say that, yeah.
Although now the shot counter was changed back. Now it says 14-13.
Still 32 seconds left on the Quaker Valley advantage.
Lotus trying to keep the puck inside the zone. He does, but he sends it right to Polidor. And this will be one last rush for the abbreviated UPMC Sports Medicine power play for Quaker Valley.
Although it doesn't look like much of a rush.
Quinn around the boards for Peterkin. 5 seconds left as it comes to Lotus. Lotus, again, just having trouble keeping it inside the zone and also trying not to turn the puck over. As Barone is out of the box. Back to 5-on-5 for now. As it's sent back into QV territory and the Quakers come 2-on-2. Connor Quinn with it, with Perkins down the middle. Quinn on his backhand. Quinn behind the net. Peterkin, score!
There we go.
The Quakers kept coming, they kept coming, and they kept coming some more. And they finally break Jason Grandy in the second period. Peterkin nuzzles that nylon.
You know, Matt, I would have thought that the 4-on-4, the more open ice, would have benefited Quaker Valley a little bit more, but they waited until the power play was over, and both teams were back to even strength to put that one in the back of the net.
So Quinn has his 14th point of the postseason. Cam Peterkin, his second goal of the 2014 postseason. And we all know what his first one was.
Big one.
More behind the net. And this is a big one, too, because it gets Quaker Valley within hailing distance with 4.5 to play till the ice cut. And the Quakers, as of late, seem to have had the better of play as Grant has to make a toe save with his right leg. Jason Grandy, the freshman, trying to hang tough here for his Rustin Knights, who lead now 4-2. And the Knights being outshot now after holding the early advantage in that department. Sloan gets it to the half boards, but Weston in with some good hustle. Otto Schaefer out in front. And the Quakers again trying to run the backdoor play, but literally the entire team camping out in front of the freshman keeper, Jason Grandy. The Knights get onside, and send this bouncing puck to the hash mark where the Quakers send it the other way. Connor Quinn on the off wing. Quinn through two men. Quinn to the goal. Quinn still has this puck, but he ran out of room to shoot. Quinn and Perkins trade places now as Quinn finds Ryan Lotus. Lotus through a crowd. It's blocked. Good play there by J.R. Barone, who leads the 3-on-2 for the Knights. Barone couldn't take it in front. It's loose and swiped away from Parker Sherry, and the Quakers now have a 3-on-2. It's river hockey here in State College. Perkins in on Grandy, who will hold. Trib Total Media is a proud partner of the PIHL and a proud sponsor of live Pennsylvania Cup coverage on the PIHL network. Visit them at triblive.com. Call 1-800-909-TRIB to subscribe. Trib Total Media, we do things right here. Lotus to Quinn. Centering pass. Perkins. Oh, what a glove save by Grandy. That was a Parker Sherry glove save.
That looked almost automatic. I'm not even sure he saw it. It was just the glove went up and boom, there it was.
The silver lining, again, the Quaker Valley Quakers suddenly are finding room. They're able to run their set plays and run their offense the way they like to and get some quality chances. That was not the case for most of period one.
That's a very poised young goaltender for the Knights.
He'd have to be to lead his team to a championship, which he did. Rustin winning its second Flyers Cup in 3 years for the right to play Quaker Valley, to whom they bowed in 2012. The Knights attacking deep with 2:40 to go in the period, and a good hip check there by Lotus to break up that opportunity. Turnaround play by Hagen to get the puck to the boards for Chirico. Lotus just trying to get it back to center, and he does. Polidor waiting, and he sends it right in on Parker Sherry, who plays it with his stick. Lotus hustling to get there, and he goes to his defensive partner, Alex Quinn, who finds Jimmy Perkins. Perkins had trouble with this puck, and here comes Asdorian off a body. Shot on Sherry from the right circle, and he makes a save. Whoops. As Brett Christie was dumped, and now one of the Knights dumped as well.
That's not good.
Not for the Quakers, it's not.
I don't think the Knights enjoyed it either.
Now the question is the door to either penalty box actually going to open? They have not. So the Quakers really catching a break there.
Letting them play.
Very interesting. Otto Schaefer on the faceoff to the corner for Alex Quinn. And Quinn now trying to get it up to Schaefer. Alex Quinn with it for Quaker Valley. Quinn up through center. Quinn over the red line, dumping it in off the stick of Jason Grandy. And it's settled down now by Kern, and Kern puts a shove into the back of Kurt Moore, and that one also goes uncalled, so it kind of evens out, I guess. Stanley up ahead now to Schaefer, and Schaefer has a little bit of room now coming through center. Otto Schaefer 1-on-3. Otto Schaefer to the goal. Wrist shot, save made, rebound. No high stick. Kurt Moore going after it, trying to get around his man there. He can't. And it's worked back to center by Barone. Good hustle by the captain. Barone trying to set Christie free right down the middle. Christie was wide open, but they couldn't find him. Late line change for Quaker Valley, and it works as Quinn has the puck. Quinn with Stanley down the middle. Connor Quinn behind the net. Quinn centering pass to Kuzma. Kuzma shooting. It's blocked. He waited too long. Perkins side of the net. Perkins for Connor Quinn with 1 minute to play in the second period. Up top for Kuzma. Kuzma shooting through traffic. It's loose. It's bouncing. Quakers whacking at it. They shoot it again, and Perkins is denied, I think. Quinn makes his move. Quinn turning around, shooting, save made, rebound, cleared away by Polidor, not out. It's all Quaker Valley right now. Perkins couldn't get to that puck. Samedi around the boards. Kuzma cuts it off. 35 left. Kuzma being harassed by Christie near corner. Barone trying to help out his back checker. He does, and Barone has it, but Weston kept it alive. Shot by Harkins, fanned on, and a hand pass called against Quaker Valley. 26.5 seconds to play in the period.
Well, the Zamboni garage door is open, and we'll see a pair of Zambonis come out to take care of the ice for this upcoming ice cut in just 26.5 seconds. So far, this game has been a pretty darn good one, Matt. This is hockey at a great level.
The Knights establishing quite a high level early in this game, and the Quaker Valley Quakers in the second period arguably rising to that level and playing better, but still with a 2-goal deficit to overcome as Ryan Lotus keeps the puck on side in on Grandy, who plays it off the bounce. 8 seconds left. Turnaround try by Perkins off a foot. That of Polidor. Polidor can't get it out. 4 seconds left. Lotus has to hurry. He's not going to have time. And the horn will sound. So again, a better period by the Penguins Cup champion Quaker Valley Quakers, the 3-time Penguins Cup champion Quaker Valley Quakers, who are looking for their second state crown in 3 years, but they still trail the hard-charging Knights of Bayard Rustin by a score of 4-2. With Tom Berenger, Matt Popchak, and Ross and Santa going to be checking in with us in a little bit once more. And again, for those watching live, stay tuned for special Ice Cut programming. For those watching on tape delay, we'll be back with the third period right after this on Trib Total Media Hockey Night. It's the Pennsylvania Cup on the PIHL Network.
At Trib Total Media, we're relentless in seeking and reporting the truth. We ask the tough questions and never give up until we uncover the complete story, and then report it to you, accurately. Sure, we lean to the right with our editorial opinions, but when it comes to hard news, we're right down the middle. The Trib. Conservative views, objective news. Get it right. Now.
It's a PIHL Hockey Night in Pittsburgh.
Trib Total Media presents another hockey night on the PIHL Network, featuring scholastic hockey in Western Pennsylvania. Hockey Night is brought to you by Trib Total Media and produced by Rubino Productions.
It's a great day for PIHL hockey.
Matt Popchak along with Tom Berenger, Ross and Santa, social media reporter, getting all kinds of shout-outs to him and to our broadcast crew here between periods. And Ross, I understand you're going to talk a little bit about that, and I understand that you're going to speak a little bit about the historical context of today's Class A Pennsylvania Cup final as well.
Yeah, so first off, Dustin Egenloff from the Moon Tigers, he specifically wants you to give him a shout out back.
Hello, Dustin Egenloff of Moon Hockey. Fine season for the Tigers.
So that, Tommy Kimmick from the TJ Jaguars, he's clearly noticing our coverage, mentioning as you noted on the broadcast, that both teams having trouble in the penalty box, mentioning on Twitter, so many penalties, hashtag PA Cup. So Tommy's getting in on the action there. And Nick McCosey of the Mars Planets, a section rival of the Quaker Valley Quakers, joining in on the conversation and wanting me to mention him on the broadcast. So Nick, there you go, featured on this coverage here at Pegula Ice Arena. And Matt, for a historical perspective, first PA Cup championship here at Pegula Ice Arena between Bayard Rustin and Quaker Valley here on the PIHL Network. And coincidentally, these same two teams were the first two teams to be broadcasted live on the PIHL Network 2 years ago. So two historical perspectives between these two teams, 4-2 in this intermission right now from Pegula Ice Arena. And Matt, from your perspective doing this game, it's your second time here at Pegula Ice Arena. Is it the same aura as it was the first time for you being here at Pegula?
I could do this all day, Ross. I don't want to because I'd like to have a voice for the rest of the weekend, but I really could do this all day. This is just a blast, and I remember you gave us a fantastic tour of this facility back when we were here to see the State College Little Lions take on the Mount Lebanon Blue Devils in November. Watch that on demand on PIHLnetwork.com right now. Very educational if you've never been up here, or if you couldn't make it up here this weekend to cheer on your teams live. Check it out. Ross and Santa with a great tour of the brand new Pegula Ice Arena, home of the 2014 and, we are proud to say, 2015 Pennsylvania Cup Championship games. Tom Berenger has rejoined me. Thank you again, Ross. And as Ross said, it is Bayard Rustin 4, 4, Quaker Valley 2 through 2, and for the 3-time Penguins Cup champions, I don't think it's too big of an ask to score 2 goals or more in a 17-minute span. Having said that, you got to credit the Knights for playing a fantastic game defensively thus far.
Yeah, as I said before, their defense is stifling, but 17 minutes is a lot of time, and this Quaker Valley team is absolutely capable of coming back into this game with just a 2-goal deficit. Their shots, Quaker Valley has 17 shots, Rustin has 16. So in a lot of ways, the game is very close and very tight. These are just 2 good hockey teams, Matt. 2 good, disciplined hockey teams.
The between periods clock is almost set to expire, but we do not see any teams out on the ice at present. Just a couple of extra moments here to fine-tune the surface and get it ready for the 3rd period here at the new Pegula Ice Arena, which just wrapped up its inaugural season as a NCAA Division I hockey facility. And thank you to Ross for reminding me off the air. We want to give a shout-out to the Nittany Lion men's team on a fine season, which just wrapped up this week in the Big Ten tournament, and a congratulations to another group of PIHL alumni, those who represent Robert Morris University back west. A great win in overtime last night by the Kerns as they will play Canisius for the championship of AHA very, very soon. So good luck to our friends at RMU, and again, stick tap to our friends at PSU as well. And thanks for letting us use your facility for that matter. Tom Berenger, well, they are, again, fine-tuning the ice here. You have our scoring summary, I believe.
That's right, Matt. Thank you. We're sitting at 4-2, as we know, in the end of the 2nd period. The first goal was tallied very early by Rustin at 42 seconds into the first. Number 19, Brett Christie, the sophomore, notched his first goal of the game, and that was followed up just a minute later by a goal from Michael Grande, number 3. And Quaker Valley got in on the action. It was our good friend Jimmy Perkins nuzzling the nylon, as you like to say, Matt, at 3:44 into the first period. And then Rustin finalized their scoring for the first period with a power play goal, the first of 2 goals by J.R. Barone. First one at 8:34, it was a power play goal. Second goal, 16:50 to close out that period. And then the Rustin Guns have gone silent. In the 2nd period, Quaker Valley chipped one in at 12:02, and that goal was scored by number 9, Cam Peterkin. And that brings us, after 17 shots for Quaker Valley, 16 shots for Rustin, as I said, to the start of period number 3.
Which will be getting underway momentarily. Again,
we're missing a team.
Bayard Rustin, which has yet to take the ice, looking for their 2nd Pennsylvania Cup all-time and first since 2009 when they beat the Mars Planets. And there was a Makosi on that Mars team as well as a Mazada and a Robash and a Stepke and several others. And the Quaker Valley Quakers again trying to repeat history in this rematch of the final game of the 2012 Pennsylvania Class A season. And we talked before about Jimmy Perkins being Mr. Clutch for Quaker Valley. He has scored in this game, but right now J.R. Barone, the Bayard Rustin captain, on pace for his 3rd consecutive game-winning goal in the 2014 postseason, which would be most impressive. The Quakers, though, would like to have something more to say about that in the next 17 minutes.
Well, we now see Rustin taking the ice.
And as far as pre-period speeches go, if I'm Nick Russo, I tell Rustin to continue to play physically and continue to effort to take space and time away from Quaker Valley, which by and large it had done a good job of until the Quakers finally, toward the end of that 2nd period, started flexing their muscles and got back into the game with that Cam Peterkin goal. If you're Quaker Valley, I think it's obvious for Kevin Quinn. You tell your team to keep building on that foundation it laid at the end of the period, and tell Parker Sherry to stay in the game mentally.
Yeah, if I'm in that locker room, I'm telling the Quakers, carpe diem, seize the day. They've been here before. They want to win this game, and they have the ability to win this game. And arguably, Rustin may be the better team, but better teams lose games all the time, and there is every possibility that Quaker Valley will continue what they built in the second period, that little momentum shift, and put a couple behind goaltender Grandi.
We saw 2 upsets last season in Single A involving an undefeated Quaker Valley team, and in Triple A involving North Allegheny defeating reigning champion LaSalle. We will see LaSalle again later today taking on Peters Township. And I see Bishop Canavan's coaching staff in the tunnel there watching the end of this game as the Crusaders will be set to take on the Titans of Central Buck South, which beat Souderton for the 2014 Flyers Cup title in Class AA. Bishop Canavan, the winningest Class AA program in the history of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, looking for its second state title in 4 years.
And the always impeccably dressed Kevin Zilmansky.
Not to be outdone by his assistant, Bill Zurian.
Well,
Bill, again, has the vest, but he's not rocking the bow tie today.
No bow tie. And, of course, Rich Bilski, with his unshaven, manly, rustic look, is in the tunnel as well.
Armin Asdorian, right wing side into the offensive zone for Rustin, in on net, and Sherry covers it in the blue paint as Asdorian goes down. 53 seconds in, and an own zone face-off in Quaker Valley territory. Face-off taken by Jimmy Perkins, but controlled from the boards by Eric Flynn. Flynn trying to center, he can't. And Kuzma takes possession for Perkins, trying to find Connor Quinn. Perkins tied up by Flynn. Flynn with a good body check there in neutral ice as the Quakers are finally able to dump it into the Rustin zone. Kuzma at the red line, off the dasher, trying to go into Rustin territory again. This time Shariko lets it go for Polidor, and it's sent up a little too far for Jeff Hagan. Quaker Valley attacking and sending it to the corner to the left of Jason Grandy, the Rustin goaltender. Around the boards it comes, but not out. Kuzma off a foot. Good gap control by Shariko as it comes far side now. Scott Weston trapping it along the half wall. And back to center it goes. Waiting for it is Jake Kuzma, the Quaker Valley defenseman. Up ahead now for Jimmy Perkins. Perkins got stood up, but Kuzma was there trailing the play. And he fires it wide of Grandy's stick side. Weston unable to keep it in the zone, and Alex Quinn has to hurry here. He's not going to get there. Brett Christie's going to get there first, but it's not going to matter because the Knights are guilty of icing with 2 minutes gone by in the third period.
And that's only our second icing of the game. Quite a contrast between the first period. At this point in the first period, we already had 2 goals by Rustin on the board, and so far in this period, neither team has registered a shot. Now, it's only 2 minutes in, but still very different from the first period.
And a clean face-off win by J.R. Barone, who's looking for the HT. He sends it up ahead to Asdorian. Asdorian for Barone. Barone wide of Sherry. Puck behind the Quaker Valley goal line. Sent to the half boards, not out. Good keep by Kern. And Sergei Kern will just sort of float at the top of the left circle there as he waits for this puck, trying to get it behind Montague. He can't. Kurt Moore up ahead now for Quaker Valley, and Moore met in the neutral zone. Kevin Quinn's coaching staff may be wanting an interference call there, but that does not go Quaker Valley's way, and we're going to get a tripping call here.
You know, I admittedly don't know anything about number 71 for Rustin, Sergei Kern, but what a great hockey name.
Got that right. Armin Asdorian will sit, and the Quaker Valley Quakers will go on the UPMC Sports Medicine power play with 14:26 to go in regulation, down 4-2.
Rustin number 12, Armin Asdorian,
Ryan Lotus into the attacking zone. Lotus with time and space for Jimmy Perkins. Back to Ryan Lotus, the captain. Lotus, side of the net for Connor Quinn. Quinn for Lotus. Lotus shooting. Blocker or glove save made there by Grandy. He doesn't know where it is. It's behind the goal line, and the Quakers are fighting for it. Perkins trying to get there before Harrison Lane can. He does, and Lotus keeps it onside. Lotus through a crowd. Deflected wide. Perkins off Grandy. It's loose. Connor Quinn side of the net. Couldn't fire it. Grandy flopping like a fish to get back in position. Out in front it goes to Perkins, who's knocked down in front of the net. And able to clear is Jeff Hagan. Hagan had an active stick between the circles as he was trying to break up the cross-ice passes that the Quakers were thinking about pulling off. Lotus around a man. That's Barone. Perkins over the line. Offside, and it's Lotus who couldn't get out of his own way. Midway through the UPMC Sports Medicine Power Play, still a 4-2 game.
And the only 2 shots in this period so far have been registered by the Quakers.
It is sent deep. And Connor Quinn, or Alex Quinn, I beg your pardon, will pick it up defensively for Quaker Valley and come all the way into the offensive zone, dropping for Jimmy Perkins. Perkins cranks one off the foot of Grandy, and the rebound is cleared by Barone. Half a minute to go on the UPMC Sports Medicine Power Play. Sherry clears it to the weak side for Alex Quinn. Now for Otto Schaefer. Schaefer couldn't handle the puck, and it's sent back the other way by Michael Grandy. Ryan Lotus, the QV captain. For Alex Quinn, for Connor Quinn. Again, the Quakers gripping the sticks a little tight, and now they took a penalty. Lotus swipes at it in frustration as we will have 10 seconds of 4-on-4 hockey, and then an abbreviated UPMC Sports Medicine Power Play to the Bayard Rustin Knights, who lead 4-2 with 12:36 to go in the third as Perkins goes off for slashing. That's a big loss for Quaker Valley.
Yeah, it is. That's one of their biggest gun, obviously.
Peterkin, who had the most recent goal for QV, gets beat in the faceoff circle, but it doesn't matter because Lotus gets to this puck and he escorts it through center ice. Lotus has room. Lotus to the goal. Off the iron! Ryan Lotus that close to bringing down half the house. Connor Quinn trying to outmaneuver his man. He can't. Turn around try in on Grandy. Good effort by Peterkin. Better save by the Frosh.
Matt, I don't know how unique this is. I guess I'll have to do my research, but it just occurred to me that Ryan Lotus, who's wearing the C for Quaker Valley, is a defenseman. And usually your captains tend to be forwards in this league.
He is one of the better two-way players in the PIHL, and he has worked long and hard to establish that reputation. Definitely earning that C for Kevin Quinn, from Kevin Quinn, I should say. Michael Grandy, who had a goal earlier in this game in the first period, into the offensive zone. He's trying to do it all himself as he comes to the right wing circle. Drops for Brett Christie. Christie centering pass to a wide open Polidor. Polidor, side of the net. Sherry trying to cover. The net is dislodged behind him, so had the Knights scored, I do not believe it would have counted, but Sherry covers anyway. .72 ticks to talk on another UPMC Sports Medicine Power Play, and this one belongs to the Knights. Connor Quinn with a clean win to Otto Schaefer, but the Quakers can't get the bounce, and they can't get it out of the zone either. And Barone going down along the boards trying to draw a penalty, and nothing doing that time as we continue to play 5-on-4 favoring Bayard Rustin. Connor Quinn 1-on-3, shorthanded. Quinn dangles. Quinn trying to drive the net. He does, and he gets hit from behind as the net is knocked off its moorings. The puck is under Jason Grandy, and officials immediately stepping in trying to prevent tempers from heating up. And I'm not so sure that shouldn't have been a penalty if it was a Rustin player hitting Quinn from behind. Barone against the sophomore here. Quinn looking to his bench for his assignment. He has it. And Barone gets waved out as Dorian has to take it. And Quinn wins it. Lotus. Save made by Grandy. Connor Quinn can outmaneuver Barone. 35 to go in the man advantage for Rustin. Michael Grandy up ahead to J.R. Barone. Barone, right hash. Sherry the save, the rebound, swept away. Good work there by Schaefer. Under 11 to go in regulation. Rustin still with a 4-2 lead. 15 seconds to go in the Knights' UPMC Sports Medicine power play. Lead pass for Tommy Sloan. No, that's Barone again, I'm sorry. Barone. Oh, deflected in on Sherry by Christie. That was a great play there. As the two forwards worked in tandem, but the Knights just didn't have the puck luck.
Yeah, that deflection went just wide.
.10:37 to play, final period, and the penalty to Perkins effectively over, as now he will come out of the box. Near corner, Jake Kuzma, Ferrado Schaefer. Schaefer, met by Shariko, but the Quakers work it back to center anyway. Kuzma from the official's crease makes sure he has the red line, gets it to Schaefer, and Schaefer's trying to get it the rest of the way, but he's stick checked from behind by Eric Flynn, and the Knights come back the other direction. Near side with it now, offside is Jeff Hagan. For those of you watching live, we will have Bishop Canterman versus Central Buck South not long after the conclusion of this Class A Pennsylvania Cup final. For those of you watching on tape delay, stay with us as I will head downstairs to speak with the victorious team. We'll have medals and trophies and what have you all right here on the PIHL Network. Special edition of Trib Total Media Hockey Night.
Especially looking forward to that what have you.
So am I. Lotus. I love to keep our audience guessing.
Absolutely.
Around the boards it comes now to Connor Quinn for Jimmy Perkins. Perkins outmaneuvering Barone, but lost the puck. Now Christie puts a hard shoulder into him. No penalty. And now the Quakers retaliate. Also, no penalty.
Old-time hockey.
It is. Toe Blake, Dick Clapper, Eddie Shore. And Jimmy Perkins has to be feeling that one, and he's feeling that one too, as he gets dumped by Barone. Again, an out trip from behind. That should have been a penalty.
Yeah.
The Knights really caught a break there. A little bit of a cheat maneuver there by Barone.
Well, they're going to use that break too. Check this out.
Chance the other way for the Knights. Quakers trying to get it out. They can't. Here's a man open as Dorian on Sherry. Nice. And Sherry saves the season, perhaps, for the Quaker Valley Quakers. For now, anyway. Grandy in on Sherry. That puck hit something at the last moment. It never made it all the way through.
Sounded like it was Sherry's stick, actually.
That pass, errant, intended for Otto Schaefer. And here comes Barone down the right wing side. Barone couldn't get around Quinn. Centering pass by Asdorian, broken up. And Alex Quinn is just having a workmanlike game today. Perkins trying to get his stick loose. He can't.
Nope. Not going to get away with that one.
And one of the Knights shaken up. Well, I'll simply say glass houses and stones and leave it at that, Tom Berenger. But when you do that right in front of the referee, you're going to get penalized. Yeah, and that was not a good penalty for the Quakers to take.
Yeah, forget the discipline. It just went out the window.
Michael Grandy, the player, shaken up for the Bayard Rustin Knights. And it is an illegal head contact penalty. Barone, the captain, going to get the explanation. It's going to be a 2-10. And Perkins is going to be the guilty party, it looks like. So Jimmy Perkins' day is done, and that's huge.
It's hard to tell. There were so many players involved there. I don't know if I'm not so sure they got the right guy, but makes no matter. Yeah, okay. Hopefully Grande gets the cobwebs cleared out.
Well, the Knights got under Perkins' skin in the other end, and again, admittedly, got away with a penalty in their own right, and then Perkins does something he should not have. And the second man gets caught. Again, midway through this third period, and they are checking Michael Grand. Lotus, the Quaker Valley captain, getting an explanation as well. And this will give us a chance to remind you that Trib Total Media is a proud partner of the PIHL and a proud sponsor of our live Pennsylvania Cup coverage here on the PIHL Network. Visit them at triblive.com or call 1-800-909-TRIB to subscribe. Trib Total Media, we do things right here. Ross and Santa, what do you see and what do you say?
Nick McCosey, he's back at it again, noticing that Quaker Valley's true colors are coming out. So it looks like that Mars-Quaker Valley rivalry is showing it's evident on Twitter right now. And like you guys were talking about, it's in hockey at all levels, here in high school at the grassroots level, they want to crack down on those hits, and it's evident here right now in this game. And the Rustin crowd has been fired up this entire game so far by all of our standards, so they know what's going on in this game, and Twitter knows what's going on in this game, especially guys from the Mars planets are evident because, like I said, that section rivalry going on. So there's some bad blood going on, and it's evident on Twitter.
Thank you, Ross. Ross and Santa, social media reporter. He'll be with us all day here for the Pennsylvania Cup Championships. And nice round of applause there for Michael Grandy as he skates off a little bit hunched over to the Rustin bench, and we certainly hope he is okay. It will be only a conventional 5-on-4 UPMC Sports Medicine power play for the Knights, as opposed to a major one. Kurt Moore to serve the minor penalty, but the Quakers' top scorer from the regular season and overall Class A Western scoring champion is done for the day, and that's a big blow.
Yeah, that's going to make it very difficult for the Quakers to come back in this third period.
The Mars Planets were the only team to beat Quaker Valley prior to today. They won that game in large part by being physical on Jimmy Perkins.
Well, yeah, I don't agree with the sentiment though that Quaker Valley is showing their true colors. I think statistics will bear out that they're no better or no worse than any other team in terms of PIMs.
And over the line come the Knights. Barone, stick check by Lotus. Lotus takes it over for Connor Quinn, and Connor Quinn, I had something to say, I'll hold that thought for a second, as Quinn comes back shorthanded and puts it wide of the stick side of Grandy. I think Harrison Lane got a piece of that one from behind on Quinn as he was trying to get himself and get the Quakers back within one. 7:35 to go in the second period. Barone, the Rustin captain, surveying the play, and now breaking out the Rustin power play. Over the line comes Brett Christie. Christie between the circles. Christie off balance, shoots off the foot of Jake Kuzma. Christie off Kuzma's stick to the corner. Hard hit by Quinn on one of the Knights. And Kuzma has it off the boards, up and out. 50 to go in the UPMC Sports Medicine power play. Barone over the line. Whacked at by Peterkin, and it comes back to center again. Good kill so far by the Quakers. And Nick Russo wanting to change specialists now as Barone comes off, and the puck goes to the Rustin blue line. Schaefer trying to get back on side, but he can't. Peterkin trying to do something shorthanded, but the point is moot. And I talked with former Sarah Catholic goaltender Travis Marzina at one point in the season, and he says that even long after you've left high school, they still have those conversations about Quaker Valley and Mars and all the old rivalries. They never go away, no. As Ross just talked about. Shot fanned on there by Shariko, and a puck put just wide of Sherry as he scrambles to brace himself for the rebound. Kuzma through center and getting it the rest of the way for Quaker Valley. And now Kevin Quinn wants freshmen on to kill the final seconds of the penalty. Kurt Moore comes on, but Shariko has it for Rustin. Now Weston takes it over, goes around the corner for Avery Montague. Montague pinned against the boards. Weston there in support. Weston through the circle, over the line. Scott Weston into the offensive zone, but met at the blue line by Michael Grandy. And the junior playing well in the back end today, and also, as we said, has a first period goal to his credit. Alex Quinn, stick handling, Quinn maneuvering, Quinn shooting, deflected wide of Grandy. Kuzma from the boards for Connor Quinn. Quinn from the right circle. Quinn couldn't get past the second man. That was Jeff Hagan. Now to the corner for Scott Weston. Out in front it comes and pushed just wide by Lotus, who was well covered. Alex Quinn unable to keep it in. 5:25 to go, third period. Father Time, the enemy of the Quaker Valley Quakers, who trail 4-2. Britt Christie off the glove of Lotus. And now it comes to Asdorian. Barone going back for that one, but the Quakers come through center, and here's Ryan Lotus, 1-on-3. Lotus hits the brakes, centers it, intended for Quinn. Weston couldn't get there either, and Asdorian comes back for Bayard Rustin. Into the corner, Alex Quinn reversing the play to Harkins for Stanley, who lets it bounce off his stick right to Sergio Kern, and Kern will send it in behind the Quaker Valley goal line.
Yeah, the Quakers need to step it up and start bringing this game to Rustin, because they're flat-footed right now.
Quinn for Peterkin. Peterkin goes down at the blue line, but goes after the puck just the same, and it's loose now to Alex Quinn. Quinn's backhander wide of Grandy. Good chance for the Quaker Valley defenseman. Stanley with it for Alex Quinn. Quinn trying to get back to his position now, and might be a little tired here as Kern clears it, and the other Rustin captain will be guilty of icing, but a good change it looks like for both teams, as again Quaker Valley had men who looked like they were out of gas.
Yeah, they needed that one.
4 minutes to go in regulation. Bayard Rustin 4, Quaker Valley 2. Lotus in deep. Moore looking for a deflection. He finds one, but it deflects to the corner as opposed to in on goal where one of the Quakers was waiting. That was Schaefer. And Kurt Moore with it again for Quaker Valley. Tries to drop it for Kuzma. Too strong. And now this will be icing against the Quakers as we have 3:37 left in the third period. It'll be Quinn taking the draw against Barone. The captain off the draw. It's fired by Christie. Never made it through. And Alex Quinn, the assistant captain, controlling it for Quaker Valley. Up to Connor Quinn. Connor Quinn trying to beat traffic as his puck is sent to the far corner. Rustin doing a great job all day of taking away space and time. We've talked about that before from Quaker Valley. It's a unique opponent the Quakers are facing here today as this puck is sent off the stick of Christie. It will not be icing since Christie touched it. And he has it now for Bayard Rustin, resetting to Barone. Barone let it go for Polidor. Polidor! Burial! And that might be the game. Parker Sherry is arguing a high stick. But I don't think he's going to get one. Ryan Lotus is arguing a high stick as well.
Yeah, that shot went in from downtown.
Polidor has had a whale of a hockey game defensively for Bayard Rustin, and continuing the theme, the defensemen have played well for the Knights, and they've gotten into the act on the other end. And in the corner is Cam Peterkin, and the Knights student section on its feet to our far left. They feel they've got this one on ice. On the ice, we have 2:25 left to play, and the Quaker Valley Quakers in dire straits. Adam Stanley, fan on that one between the circles. It's cleared away by Christie. Christie trying to lead it for Asdorian. Lotus trapping it with his glove. Again, coming up next, the Class AA Pennsylvania Cup Final between the Bishop Canavan Crusaders, the new Penguins Cup champions, and the new Flyers Cup champions in the East, the Central Bucks South Titans. That's coming up next here on the PIHL Network as live Trib Total Media Hockey Night coverage of the 2014 Pennsylvania Cup continues. 1:45 to play now, and we still see Parker Sherry in goal, so it looks like we're going to play conventional hockey the rest of the way, regardless of the outcome. And it was all about the next play entering that third period, and the Quaker Valley Quakers, as they fire this in on Grandy, who makes the save, just couldn't quite get that next play to get them back within one.
Yeah, they've been playing catch up the entire the entire game, and Quaker Valley ran into a buzzsaw, and it's named Rustin, and this team has just been dominating.
The game started footloose and fancy free, lots of goals, lots of chances. Now it's settled down into a more defensively slanted game, but normally that would benefit Quaker Valley, but not today. The Knights, to their credit, have given them a taste of their own medicine. Sherry is to the bench after all with 75 seconds left as the Quakers are in desperation mode, and it's sent the length by Michael Grandy. Kuzma gloves it down just in time for opening day. Schaefer leading it for Peterkin. Peterkin unable to do anything with it as Michael Grandy, who thankfully is back on the ice after that head injury, ties him up. The Rustin fans again back on their feet as Quinn has it left circle. Fans on the shot, and it's sent back to center.
Kind of indicative of the game.
It is. It most certainly is. Connor Quinn around a man, over the line, and off Grandy, and that might have caught a piece of the post as well with half a minute to play. Schaefer met behind the goal line. As Schaefer pins a man up against the boards now, and Lotus dumping one of the Knights as Moore goes after the other Bayard Rustin captain. That's Brent Milchap. 6 seconds left, and another terrific season for the three-time Penguins Cup champions ends in disappointment as the Bayard Rustin Knights are Pennsylvania Cup champions for the second time ever and the first time since 2009. Your final score from the Pegula Ice Arena at Penn State University in State College, Pennsylvania. The Bayard Rustin Knights 5, the Quaker Valley Quakers 2, and Tom Berenger, the Knights did it with defense.
Well, they really did. I used the term earlier, stifling defense. The normally high-flying Quaker Valley offense just couldn't seem to get it going at all. And a well-deserved win by Westchester Bayard Rustin for this Pennsylvania State Championship.
And so, in the annals of history, the Quaker Valley program continues to have trouble in this event with teams from the Westchester area. Thank you, Tom Berenger, Ross and Santa, John Rubino, Ed Sam, and you for watching. Again, stay tuned on tape delay for interviews. Stay tuned live for the Class AA Pennsylvania Cup Final between Bishop Canavan and Central Bucks South. Bayard Rustin 5, Quaker Valley 2. I'm Matt Popchuk, and I leave you now in the capable hands of my broadcast partner, Tom Berenger.
Thanks, Matt. We're about to witness the presentation of medals and trophies. A very familiar face to us from the West is Lenny Santora, who's got the trophies and medals at his little table. and the players are exchanging their handshakes right now. It's a happy handshake for Rustin. Not so happy for Quaker Valley. Once again, they made it to the big dance and they went home unlucky, but still a great season for that team, 17-1 in the regular season. A truly talented, gifted, disciplined team, and a core of that team to come back next year. And tonight the celebrations will take place in Westchester, at least for the single A category, as we've got Bayard Rustin taking this game 5-2. And we've got a few thank yous to read. Special thanks to broadcasters Chris Baginski, Matt's regular partner back in the West, Ross and Santa, our social media reporter, doing a great job. Andy Hughes, Drew Brown, of course, producer and head of Rubino Productions, John Rubino, Commissioner Ed Sam, a great partner in Trib Total Media. Nobody covers hockey better, in my opinion. We've got a big shout out for UPMC Sports Medicine for their constant support to this sport and to these leagues. MSA Sports is in the house. You can check out what they do on their website. Tom Wilms of IYM Sports is also here. Bob Sebastian sitting down in front of us. Bob is, of course, the president of the PIHL and also the captain at the helm of Power Play Productions. And finally, the staff of this incredible arena. They've done a great job giving us everything we need to do the broadcast. And now we're going to hear the presentations of the medals and trophies for the teams. And you're listening to the broadcast of today's state championship single A division game from the Pegula Ice Arena at Penn State University. You're hearing the voice also of rink announcer Rodney Martin as he has read the names of the second place, the runner-up Quaker Valley team. Officials from both the PIHL and the EPIHA are at the awards table handing out the trophy. In the background, you see my broadcast partner, Matt Popchak, producer John Rubino, standing behind Bob Sebastian, league president. There's Jack Kukan making his way back to the scorers table. Jack's one of the vice presidents of the PIHL. And now here are the names of the Westchester Bayard Rustin state championship team. Well, we're witnessing one of the truly great spectacles of high school hockey, the post-game handshake. These teams both, they slug it out for 51 minutes, and then they come together and shake hands not once, not twice, but 3 times, and showing the true character of these student athletes as they compete for the coveted prizes that they both worked very hard for. And we'll listen again to rink announcer Rodney Martin as he announces the presentation of the Pennsylvania Cup. Now Quaker Valley's heading off toward their locker room. Their heads are a little low, but I think it's been a terrific season for them. The ultimate prize did escape them, but they made it here to this venue and have a great experience to show for it. I think that this kind of game that they played today, they really can hold their heads high, even though it may not feel like it right now. But we've truly seen some terrific hockey in this absolutely beautiful space for the game, courtesy of the Pegula family. Terry Pegula, not only benefactor to Penn State, but also the owner of the Buffalo Sabres NHL team. Just have done a great thing for this community, this university, and this program. And now we see the Cheerios box photo being taken. Teams lined up, laying on the ice, enjoying their championship status as Pennsylvania State Champions 2014 in the high school Class Single A. The Westchester Bayard Rustin Knights have earned the right to skate the cup again. And there it is at center ice. And the bowl just got taken off, don't know why, but I guess they're going to skate the bowl, but not the entire trophy, perhaps. And Rustin is heading off toward their locker room to continue their celebration, and they'll take that 2 to 3 hour bus ride back to Westchester tonight, Eastern Pennsylvania, suburb of Philadelphia, and they'll party on as they've been known to do in Westchester before, several years before. Not only this team, but other teams from Westchester who have gone on to win the Pennsylvania State Championship. Just a great game, a great day. We're happy and thrilled for these student athletes, and we thank you for your attentiveness to this broadcast, sharing with us one of the groundbreaking firsts of the PIHL network, with social media reporter Rostin Santa contributing to this game. And for those of you listening live, stay tuned for the upcoming Double-A game, Bishop Canevin and Bucks County South. And Central Bucks County South takes on the Bishop Canevin Crusaders. And for the rest of you, enjoy the coverage, and thanks once again for being with us. And we're going to listen to the sounds of the champions as they celebrate and are interviewed by the PIHL network over on their end.
Winning captain J.R. Barone has a pretty nice piece of hardware in his hand, and his team got it with a fast start here today. What were the keys to that fast start?
We had a game plan. We just stuck with it. We knew they had a good offense, top scorers. We had to shut them down. And we just got the job done.
3 consecutive playoff games, 3 consecutive game-winning goals. What's in the breakfast cereal? What's the secret?
Just scrambled eggs and toast every day.
After the very hard, very circuitous route that your team took to get here, just how does it feel to be champions and to beat really a respected program in the process?
It's wonderful. Our goal at the beginning of the season was to win this, and everybody just bought into our system and got the job done.
Winning captain J.R. Barone, congratulations.
Thank you.
Sean Polidor with a great game on the back end, and kind of fitting the way this one ended, Sean. You get rewarded with a goal, and the defensemen on the whole seem to do a good job kind of getting into the act today.
Yeah, we play well as defense. We play defense first. Our coach always says defense wins championships, and we proved it here tonight.
So many teams that Quaker Valley has played over the course of the season have not been able to defend them well. You guys were able to take away time and space and kind of minimize their damage. How did you do it?
We always play, once they hit the blue line, we try to press on them and keep them from on the outside. We don't allow the middle easily. We always cut to the middle when we play defense.
On a personal level, what does this mean to you? It's been a long time, before your time even, since Bayard Rustin last won one of these.
Oh, it's amazing, especially because we lost to these guys 2 years ago in the state championship. It feels great. We got our state trophy back, and a lot of our alumni that were in that team are here today. So it feels great.
Sean Polidor, defenseman, great game.
Thank you.
Winning goaltender Jason Grandi, a freshman, certainly didn't look like a freshman today. A tough team to stop, and he held on for the win. What were the keys to your success defensively as a team today?
Just stay focused and get the puck out of the zone when you have a chance.
What did you do individually to prepare to face Quaker Valley?
Just play my game and be on.
Yeah, George! He's a freshman.
On a personal level, what does it mean to be able to pick up that trophy? Because so many kids go through their whole high school hockey careers and don't even get a chance to play for this, let alone win it.
It's great. It's awesome. It's a great trophy to win. It's awesome.
Jason Grandi, winning goaltender. Thanks, buddy.
Nice.
So Rustin gets revenge, leaving the Quakers to ponder what they have to do for the ultra-rare four-peat in Penguins Cup play. From all of us at the PIHL Network, and for our sponsors, the MSA Sports Network, UPMC Sports Medicine, and Trib Total Media, I'm Matt Popchalk, and thank you for watching.
Trib Total Media is a proud partner of the PIHL. Trib Total Media. Get it right now. Call 1-800-909-TRIB to subscribe or visit us online at triblive.com. This PIHL Network presentation was produced by Rubino Productions, serving the community in ways you haven't imagined.